Hi, and welcome back, freedom lovers and freedom warriors, to Essential Talks, where you stay for the conversation and you leave empowered. We are doing a fitness campaign, the Fitness Rebellion, and we're going to be talking a lot about fitness, getting these fitness clubs, yoga studios, all of that open. And we have our live that's going on now. We have Derek, excuse me, from the Dream Center, and Oxana from the Yoga Bar. Uh, and so we're going to get into their story. It's pretty exciting. They're both standing up, doing a hell of a job. I've watched both your videos. I haven't seen all of them, but I have watched them. What an excellent start. So let's start out with you, Oxana. You've gotten some, I guess, some good play on the TV. What station were you on? How did you come about opening up, and where do you see this going for you?
Well, I guess, it's been a fifth closure now. We are a young business that opened up during pandemic. So our first day of operation was May 29th, 2020. So as the new business, we didn't qualify for any government grants. So a lot of businesses were shut down, but they were receiving help from the government, and we had to survive on our own. So 2 years of losses kind of pushed me to the point, that it's enough. We cannot really be closed anymore. And that was probably number one thing. Number two thing was that none of my employees didn't get paid before Christmas. So, they shut us down in 24 hours notice. Everybody stayed, and I said this many times, and I'm going to repeat myself again, that some of my employees didn't have food to buy for Christmas dinner, and still, same thing. So nobody got paid yet. And number three was probably, receiving all the messages and phone calls from people who are really struggling with mental health. So it was, for me, it felt right to me. Just that was kind of the time, they try to push you a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then, before you really get into the corner, you have to set some boundaries here. That's how I felt.
Yeah, very much so. And what about yourself, Derek? I've seen your videos. You had a little tour there the other day, and give us kind of your input from all that's happened and what caused you to stand up and where you see yourself going with this.
Well, we've been open for about 12 years, so we're pretty well established in our community. We actually, Oxana, we had one of the yoga studios here in town, really well loved and respected, recently just shut down because they couldn't afford to keep their doors open anymore. But yeah, I think for me, it's more about trust. I trust our government to be exactly who they are. And when this first started in 2020, I haven't worn a mask throughout the entire duration of COVID. The only time I did was when I was in a healthcare facility, just out of respect for the people there. But yeah, I don't know, something just didn't add up to me for quite some time. And the last set of lockdowns that we faced in our area, we were going to take a stance to stay open at that time. The challenge then is that we have so many staff who are under the age of 18, and a number of their parents didn't want them to continue. They weren't too sure what other people would think. Some of them are really unsure about whether or not COVID was super serious to them at that point. So we this time around we decided to stay open, and the support has been overwhelming across. Throughout our community across Canada, we have people all over the world reaching out to us. Our video that we shared, we have over 500, I think about 500,000 views now between all our social media sites, most of them on Facebook. We have, well into the several thousands of likes, comments, shares. Support's huge. So the tides are definitely turning at this point. And there's a community here that really supports our decision. And I wish you guys could see our place, pardon me, this Saturday morning that just passed. It was just slammed with parents and kids, tons of happy faces, people wearing masks, people not wearing masks, whatever their exemptions are, that's fine. But yeah, I even had police officers come up to me on Saturday morning whose kids are registered here, and they say that they fully support what we're doing. So yeah. we're happy with
Oh,
our
that's fantastic. That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
I just the mental health impact on children, especially, has been absolutely undeniable. And so being able to see happy faces and just trying to have some level of normalcy again is, and a place in which to do so is so incredibly important. That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
And so
I know you both. Yep. Sorry, Jess.
Oh no, it's okay. You can go, Kim.
No, go.
Okay. I was just gonna say, so like, what made you guys interested in getting into this type of industry to begin with? I'll go with you first, Oxana.
Well, for me, it was the injury. So I moved from Russia in 2003 to Canada. So I had a law degree. Then I got pregnant, I had my kids, and I was in a car accident. So I had a spinal damage, I had a concussion, I had a soft tissue damage. So for me to recover through physio and chiropractors, we weren't really healing the root of the problem. So I started hot yoga, and that helped me a lot. So then I I decided that I wanted to share with people that gift, the healing. And
Oh, I think we froze a little bit there. That's okay. She was having some issues, so we'll let her hopefully her internet can come back there. But how about for you, Derek?
Yeah, so back in 2010, my partner and I had met. She had just opened her dance studio, so she was about 2 months into it. I've been an avid real estate investor for a lot of years, still am today. So anyways, I would come to the studio. It was just a dance studio at that time. We were called Live Dream Dance. And I was just being the supportive boyfriend. Things progressed well with us. So eventually we just decided that I would take my business side of things, the expertise there, bring it into her passion for dance. And then we grew things. And so just a few years after that, we found an opportunity in our community because it's fairly small. It's about 20,000 people. So a lot of people were driving out of town for like gymnastics, for example. So they had to drive about 30 minutes just one way to get their kids to different classes. But then if they want to dance, they'd be driving their child somewhere else and then martial arts somewhere else. So I purchased a building in the area with Sarah and we opened up the Dream Center. And so we started with the dance, gymnastics, martial arts, and musical theater. And then about a year and a half later, we purchased the building next door to us and moved into there. And we just kept expanding. We have dance, gymnastics, martial arts, musical theater, before and after school, Ninja Warrior. We have postpartum support groups for moms. We have infant programs. Yeah, there's a lot that we offer our community, and yeah, we're proud of that.
Wow, that's a lot. That's incredible. That's really good. That's really interesting with the postpartum support. I haven't heard of that, so that's a really nice thing to have. I can imagine that's really needed, and especially nowadays too. So just again with the mental health impact of everything. So you should
see those moms here. They're not tolerating any of this. So our program runs Tuesdays and Thursdays 10 to 1, and this place is stacked with moms. And it was actually when bylaw and the Ministry of Labor showed up, it was that program that was running at that time, and all those moms came back.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so good to hear. Just so through all of this, so basically just for what you had seen with everything, what made you ultimately decide to stay open? Like what really did it for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough call because there's so much information out there, whether it's true information or misinformation. That was really what kind of did it. I think honestly, it's a tricky question to answer. The biggest part of it was the impact on the kids. I mean, there's no question. I mean, you have phone calls on the daily, emails on the daily with parents crying, struggling about, socializing their children, kids committing suicide watch, cutting themselves, hurting themselves, starving themselves. It was endless that way. So, I mean, when you look at COVID stats, I mean, I don't want to get too much into that, but if you look at how kids have been impacted across Canada, COVID versus, I mean, kids now doped up on different prescriptions for anxiety and depression and suicide rates. I don't know, for us, it felt like it was a no-brainer. And I mean, clearly the majority of our community feel the same way. So yeah, we're happy with our decision.
That's really important. Thank you for sharing that. it takes a lot and a lot of courage to stay open. I know that Oxana was just saying that, with having basically a choice of her employees putting food on the table, and then with yours, just the stats and just given the impact that it has, this is just, I would say that it's a no-brainer. Of course, there are a lot of places that are not open right now, but I hope that they're listening to this and really understanding that they can have such an impact with their community, and that the more that they do, the more that they help their community, the more that their community can heal from all this. So that's fantastic to hear. And so, Kim, if you wanted to go with your question there, sorry for that.
Well, yeah, my question was I wanted both of them to go into all the amazing programs that they offered, and Derek has already kind of done that. So, Oxana, now that we have you back, if you can just touch on how you became a part of the fitness sector and what programs you have at your facility.
So when we opened, our idea was always to have one place for the one membership. So we didn't want our clients to go, gyms, spin studios. So we decided that we're going to build everything in one place. So saving people time, saving people money, saving people on driving. So we offer pretty much for everything. So we offer any classes, for stretching, hot yoga, deep stretch, yin and yin classes. We offering fitness classes, which is the high intensity, low intensity endurance weight training. We offer a little bit of the bar classes, which is the combination of the yoga and the bar and the ballet. Pilates classes. We also brought in aerial yoga, which is really great for decompression of the spine. And I think, the best part is that, Derek is on the show. If our members come into the studio, if you're a member, so we actually allow them to bring their children to practice at the studio for free. So we open to kids up to 16 years old to work out at the studio for free.
Wow. That's really nice. That's really nice.
Well, it is important. I'm a single mom, so I'm watching how all this affected my children. So, and even let's say just, if it's not even the COVID, right? Let's say going back before 2020, the kids always need extra support, So my idea was always, we get them when they're young, because school doesn't teach us how to breathe. School doesn't teach us how to, that you are not your emotions, that you're separate from your emotions, right? There's so many things that I think school should be teaching, especially like meditation. Unfortunately, school's not teaching us. So I always said, let's get them while they're young so we can teach them how to breathe and use the breath as the best ability.
That's such a good point. I've often thought of what did I actually even learn in high school? Like, how much time did I spend there? Years and years and years. And what have I actually taken forward from that? I could have definitely used with how to make sure not to screw your credit. That would have helped me when I was about 18. So, but anyways, and then lots of things like that, exactly, like how to breathe, your emotions, how to actually, how to deal with them properly and effectively. So that's really amazing to have, and that they have a place to go there for that kind of solace. So in getting into more recent times, and just with having, staying open and things like that, Derek, I know that you had posted videos online, and that's both of you really. And so, but for the viewers that haven't seen those videos, do you mind going into detail as to what you've faced so far, so that they can understand? Derek, if you don't mind going first.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you mean just like in terms of how everything kind of transpired that day?
Yeah, just so leading up to it, like, so at the point in which you had reopened, if you faced anything, did you say that you were open during the first lockdown, or no?
No, we weren't.
Yes,
we did our best to stay open as long as we could. I think our advantage is that we have a multiplex, right? So when individual spaces, like a dance studio specifically, was forced to shut down, we fell under a different bracket of activities. So we had a little bit of an advantage there. But there was so much miscommunication and misunderstanding between public health, bylaw, and licensing. So we would call somebody one day and get a yes, you can stay open. The next day would be a no. And again, next day, yes, next day, no. And then eventually somebody would come in. We've been fined twice. We're taking both of those tickets to court, but they said it could be a few years before we're tried. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that turns out. But in terms of following the kind of the rules set out at that point, I'm pretty confident we'll be fine in court just because of like the umbrella of businesses that fall under the Dream Center. I was on my way up north the other day. Again, it was just like real estate investment, going up north just to try and sign up a deal. And I got a call from one of my staff members, and she was just bawling in hysterics because she had done everything I asked her to do. I said, if bylaw or anyone ever shows up, you just ask them to wait outside, and then I will come and I will deal with them, so you don't have to do that. I spoke to bylaw about 5 days prior to their arrival. And the agreement was, and this is the words out of their mouth too, we agreed on this, that like due to the impact that these kids have had on their overall mental health and well-being, they're not going to do anything to jeopardize that at this time. So they're going to arrange a time with me to come and meet me at my business, and then we'll have a discussion about options. That was kind of it. So I was supposed to hear from the supervisor 24 hours later. 5 days later, I don't hear anything. I get a phone call from the staff. Anyways, she put them on the phone, and I just said to the guys, I'm like, guys, look, she's asked you to wait outside. They kind of barged through her. They upset a lot of these moms in here. A lot of them, they were really scared. They stood in front of the doors. The moms didn't know if they could leave or not. I think it was the Ministry of Labor who was telling my staff member that she's going to jail and we're going to shut the business down for good and you're going to lose everything. And just a lot of like unnecessary fear tactics. But anyways, so when I got here, it was about just about an hour after that. And then that's when I started recording, and I just caught them in multiple lies because they didn't call me to set up a time, and they know that they didn't. And I caught them in that lie. And then so I guess what I understand their strategy to be now is that like there were no fines issued on that day. It was like just over 2 hours of wasted time. And so the Ministry of Labor stood in front of me, read me my rights, said he was going to issue me XYZ. Again, nothing. So because bylaw knew that they couldn't get in, I guess from what I understand, the Ministry of Labor has that warrant card, which is his badge, which allows him access to the business. But I have family with the Ministry of Labor and, Ministry of Labor, I'm going to botch the name. And health and safety. They were with the federal government for about 25 years. And they were just kind of mortified about how he handled himself and the protocols that he didn't follow in order to actually get through our doors. So the tactic with bylaw now is to get a hold of somebody like the Ministry of Labor, because bylaw knows that they can't get through the door. And so, I spoke with my lawyer after that whole incident. We're not looking to challenge anybody, but he said they'd have a really tough time in court based on their actions if we had to go to court with that video.
Wow.
So here we are.
Yes. Well, I feel terribly for the people that were there, just trying to enjoy a nice session with you guys, and to have that kind of shoved in their face like that, and especially your staff. That's traumatic, and so that's but that's not the first time I've heard of this type of fear tactics being used to try to. It's like they know they don't have the ability to through the system move around the way they would like to, so they just bully. It's just really when it comes down to it, it's just bully tactics. And I was bullied in school, and I cannot stand hearing that kind of stuff, because that's really what it comes down to. Is just bullying in the adult and business world, and I have no patience for that whatsoever. How about you, Oxana? How have you fared so far with public health and bylaw? And have you had any visits? Have you had any tickets or anything like that since the beginning?
Well, the moment we opened up, I think the night number 3, I got a phone call from the health official saying that there's a complaint that there's no social distancing in the washroom, in the change room. Well, I told them that, I'm a small business, that if you want to monitor that, then you should, send me your stuff. So I think that kind of set the tone on who they were dealing with. And, since then we had about 5 fake complaints. And why I say fake, because they all were fake. We had a police showing up at the studio saying, you have 20 people, which we were allowed to have 20 people at the studio practicing. But, the studio was actually just getting ready to open up. and there was no people in the class, and there was no people at the studio besides just me and the front desk person. So, they apologized and they left. Their job is just to come in and check, right? So, I talked a couple times. One time we had a flood during another closure. That was May. And I got a phone call from the health officials, and I just told her pretty much, I swear at her over the phone, and I said, do not ever call me again with another fake complaint. You've been at the studio, you see we're closed. And, her question was, well, I heard that you doing a fitness classes outside. And I said, yes. So how can I help you? And she said to me, are you following any protocols for the outside classes? And I just laughed, and I said, did you guys email us the protocols for the outside classes? Because we didn't receive anything. Is there a protocol for do you understand? They're just being completely ridiculous, right? So I just laughed, and I just told her, listen, just don't call here again. Unless you have something serious, just please do not call me again. So after that, I got a reputation of I am the hard to deal with. So, now when they come in, they are very rude. They are bullies. They're using a fear tactic because really they know that they have no legal background. There's no legal foundation for them even to be here, right? So, going ahead now with reopening, regardless what they're going to tell us today or tomorrow, I'm putting a sign on the door where it says no trespassing. This is the private property. And there's going to be no trespassing. And if you want to come and talk to me, give me a phone call ahead of the time. And thanks to Derek, people like Derek, who's been fighting and posting this on social media. So people like me, we can learn from it. We can learn step A, step B, right? Like how to handle this, because of course they have a power and they're going to use that power, right? But you don't have to be scared of them. You don't have to be afraid of them, right? So, thank you so much, Derek, for posting all these videos. Thank you guys, for educating us, and see what's going to happen on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm actually very, very curious, but I'm prepared to fight because, we've been pushed to the point we have nothing else to lose. I would rather lose my business than to lose my freedom. And I would rather stand up for something that it feels right in every single heart, body, mind, soul, emotions, feelings, whatever I have. And I want to stand up for my people. I want to stand up for my children. So if we're going to lose it, well, you know what? It is what it is.
Oh, that was so well said. I got goosebumps. Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yes, I appreciate that. That was very well put.
Yeah. So just a little tidbit. When you have the health board or anyone else show up, and they always say the same thing, we're here on a complaint. You can say, under the Freedom of Information Act, can you email me that complaint, please? And they have to follow those rules. You have the right to see who's complaining, when they complained, and what they said. They have to give you that information. Every time you say that to them, and I've done this before with one of the health officials in my area, as soon as you say that, they start to backpedal. Well, the time and blah, blah, and they'll have all kinds of excuses. So literally what you're saying is, I call you on bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? And
I had to wait 9 months for mine.
Yeah, and they'll backpedal, they'll do all kinds of things. So this is amazing. This is really good information that you guys are giving out. And like you said, Oxana, with any new businesses that are on the fence, that aren't sure which way to go, it's very important that this information gets to them. No matter what fines we get, this is my opinion, no matter what fines I get, I can get as many as I want. They can take my business away. I'm not stopping. I'm not stepping down, because I know I'm right in my heart and in my soul, and no one can take that away from us. So how has the community been for you, Oxana? Derek did mention to us that he has an amazing support system there. So how has the support been for you through all this?
Community's been amazing. We watched, people from our students coming in when just COVID, started, and, we had people who were very, very concerned, right? And during those last 2 years, very interesting transition happened. Those people.
Oh, rats. She got cut again. Oh, that's okay. We'll wait for her to kind of come back on. She'll probably just be a couple moments.
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh, there we go.
There we go. You cut out there for a second. Sorry, if you could repeat yourself there.
Sorry. So yes, we had people coming in the beginning of COVID when we just opened who were really, really concerned about COVID and pandemic. And slowly, gradually, they're coming in and they're like, okay, we're so done with it. We're so sick of it. Now let's just get to the light, right? Let's live to the fullest. So this is what actually happened. Although we had some clients who were very, very careful, those clients are back now saying enough is enough. Let's open up. We want to come in. We want to work out. And a lot of people reaching out. Like I was on interview another day with Kimberly, and I said, Kimberly, I don't know any single person who actually reached out to us and said, no, don't do it. We had people saying, don't get yourself in trouble. And in my head, I was thinking, well, I am already in trouble. I'm losing everything. But yeah, everybody's reaching out, everybody's supportive. Again, we had a lot of views on that video that I posted, sharing the pain. So everybody's been supportive. I'm excited to open the doors. I'm just like a little kid, and I'm actually even more excited than when we opened for the first time. So I feel different. I feel very strong because there's so many people doing the same thing than what I'm doing. There's a gyms in Kelowna. I know there's a gym standing up here in Vancouver area as well in the neighborhood. And I want to, the energy is contagious, right? When you see people supporting you, you have a purpose. So I feel I have a purpose. So when they hear for us and support has been incredible, we do feel very strong, and especially in our decision moving forward.
That's really good. It's really nice to hear that there's other businesses opening as well too. I know that, the second, third lockdown, I don't know how many you guys have had out in there in BC, but we've had more than enough. I know that it was hard to try to get the momentum kind of going and to keep people open, and if we don't have enough people open, then they can kind of pick us off a little bit easier, try to intimidate us a little bit more. But when you have other people, especially locally, standing by your side, it really does make the difference in having that community. And they try to take that community away from us in all shapes and forms, but it really just it's like you said, I have this exact same response from my clients as well too. They're done. They're absolutely done with this. Even the ones that they did everything that they thought was right in stay home, take your shots, do all that kind of stuff, and even then we've still ended up in lockdowns. And so it's just they're all done, all of them. And that wave is really it's really getting going. I think that this was really kind of woke people up to the idea that maybe this is not in our best interest. Maybe this is not about health. If it was about health, then why aren't they even talking about the mental health impacts that are happening to not just adults, but children as well too, and especially them really at the end of the day. And so that's really nice to hear that it's not just you, and that you're feeling the community, and that you're feeling that that this wave is really happening, and that it's empowering you to do so. You guys are both fantastically brave. Like I just with your stance and the way that you're going forward with things, how you're handling it, I'm very, very proud of both of you. What do you think prevents other businesses from taking that kind of stand? And if you could say anything to them, what would you say to them? And so I'll start with we'll start with Derek here.
Yeah, I think so. So there's still a number of business owners who think that they're doing the right thing by staying closed and following mandates. And I'm not judging that. All the circumstances are different for everybody depending on your beliefs and whatnot. So you do what you need to do for your business at that time. Sorry, can you repeat that again? I just
Sure. Just what you feel is preventing other business owners from opening up, and what would you say to them to help maybe empower them if they're maybe on the cusp, or just are really unsure about it? Like if there's any advice you would give, or just what would you really say to them?
So, I mean, all of this has really driven strong and not as strong businesses to a breaking point. It's driven people to this breaking point. And it really makes you question who you are, what you're standing up for. Are you doing the right thing? It makes you question so many things. And I think what prevents people the most at this time is that they're really hoping that this will be the last round of lockdowns. and then is just going to magically reopen again. And I mean, if you want to think that, go ahead. That's not going to be the case. But so many people are stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? You're getting these government handouts. So it's like I use that term in my video. It's like welfare for business. And if you look at any individual who's on welfare anywhere in this world, they do not live a healthy lifestyle. So you're at this point where you absolutely need to choose between continuing on welfare, your livelihood, your mental capacity, your emotions, everything's going to continue to deteriorate whether you like it or not, or you just need to step up and choose well-being. And that was it for us, right? We're just like, we're going to completely align our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our intentions, our business, our staff, our team, everything with well-being. And if it so happens that bylaw or anybody comes back, that's fine. But our decision is still to move forward in well-being. If you issue me a fine, that's okay. I'm still moving forward in well-being. If I go to court and I lose, that's okay. Like there's still steps. And for me personally, if it gets to the point that I actually have to go to court and I have to pay a $10,000 fine or a $100,000 fine or whatever it might be, this won't be a country I'm living in at that point. You know what I mean? I will stand and do everything for my team, and I'll do everything for my community up until a point, right? At that point, if I'm going to court in 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road, I mean, this country's in a far worse off place. But yeah, I mean, you guys, like everybody, I think the hardest thing is just to understand that as soon as we step up together and unite, that's when this all stops, right? That's when the wheels come completely right off this train. And I just, I don't know. I mean, it's communities like we are essential.ca and other struggling business owners. I don't like to use the term struggling. Let's not use that. Business owners that are choosing empowerment at this time and are choosing to fight for the communities and their livelihoods and stay open. You just need to reach out. You need to join these communities and you need to take a stand. And if other people are going to judge you, not like you, it's okay. I mean, I can pull up the likes on our social media page. It's I think it's about 10,000 likes, and I think we have 500 dislikes. And a lot of that is from our community, but a lot of that's from all over the world. And I mean, our inbox is flooded with support, our social media, everything. So I guarantee people, like, the support is there. People are on your side at this point. The majority are on your side at this point. Life's got to go on. Thank you.
Yes. Well said. Well said. Absolutely. I completely agree. So Oxana, how do you, so same question to you. What do you feel is preventing other businesses from opening? And if you had a moment to say something to them, what would you say?
I'm an immigrant, right? So I moved to Canada 18 years ago. So Canadians are way too polite and too nice, you know, and unfortunately it's been taken for granted. So Canadians need to learn how to set some boundaries here and to stand up, you know, to really stand up for themselves and for their rights. I think fear is probably one of the major reasons why they don't stand up. Number two is, I believe the worst and biggest addiction is comfort zone. So I know that some businesses receiving government help, it's comfortable, you know. I know some businesses that made much better during the COVID, did much better during the COVID than before COVID, you know, because of the government help. So, you know, it's a comfort zone, right? What I will tell them, you know, I just want to remind businesses, like, especially if it's a fitness industry, right? Remember what your purpose is. Remember, why did you even start it? Why did you begin this journey, right? What was your purpose? Your purpose, you just wanted to share health with other people because you in love with it so much, right? So go back to your purpose. Go back to that serving community, because when you serve, you are at highest frequency. So even if you're fighting something, it doesn't matter. You're serving the community. So this is the vibration, right? Those are the feelings you have. So universe is going to match that frequency. Universe is going to bring that back. You know, for any one single complaint, there's going to be, Derek said another day in his video, he said there's going to be 10 happy people. And it's true, you know. So allow those complaints just, you know, wash off you, right? I think fear of being judged as well. And I say this all the time, you're going to be judged no matter what. It doesn't matter what decision you're going to make, you're going to be judged. Who cares in the end of the day? Who cares what they think of you? Because their perception and who you are, that's good enough. So if you feel like you're doing this for community and you're doing this for your own purpose, to serve the purpose, go for it. Because this is a different way, right? It's intention that really matters. What is your intention? Right? So remind yourself, why did you come here in the first place? That's number one. Number two is ask yourself, what is here to be afraid of? What is the worst case scenario? Like what is that? That they're gonna give you a fine? Well, you know what? You're probably gonna make more money being open, so you can pay that fine from the business perspective. You know, and then you can go and argue, and I'll help you fill it up. I will fill up all the papers. And number three, you know, right now there's a wave. Business is opening up. Business is opening up. Get on that wave. Get on that wave, because you will be supported, and you're not going to be alone. So you are not alone. There's hundreds of businesses that, you know, it's just that little baby step that you need, a little push, and it doesn't have to be a big step. It's just a one baby step. And again, go back to your intentions. Why were you here in the first place?
That's fantastic. That is actually a really good point, especially for the fitness industry, because it's not like they opened. I don't think that there's probably really a place out there that was just in it for the money. That's a fitness thing it's almost like a restaurant. It really comes down to a passion. You have a passion for health, and so and that's a really good point about fear. That really we're known around the world for being polite people, but I think that's kind of come back and hit us across the face a little bit. And so, so it's, I agree. I think that people need to be a bit more courageous, not relying on government handouts to try to make it through at the end of the day, because how much longer can we really do that? I mean, really, it's not like that money comes from nowhere. It's basically taking from the taxpayer. So how do you like your healthcare? How do you like your roads? Do you like to just stay closed out of fear? If you do that, I mean, how much longer are we really going to have everything that we're accustomed to having as generalized comfort? So I shall probably back in a moment here. And so, so those are my points on that. So thanks.
Yeah, no, I think that was great with what Oxana said. And that can apply to pretty much any business out there. Remember why you got into business. Remember what you're doing. Open up your doors. When we go back to one of the original pushes we did through We Are All Essential was February 11th, 2021. And I was the first one in, I believe in Simcoe County that opened up. So it was pretty lonely. Was it 2020? Okay. But I was one of the first ones that opened up in Simcoe County. Is really lonely. This is the ideal time. Any business sitting on the fence, go around your community. You're going to see other businesses open or think about opening up. Everyone just open your doors. Let's end this madness, right? It's very simple. Get a little bit of education, get some courage, and you will be surprised who is standing behind you. You're
Very
not
surprised.
alone.
Very surprised.
Awesome. Yeah, we have two. I was going to say we have two prime examples here.
Derek,
where the
I know
community
you
is reaching right out to them.
Sorry. Yeah, I think there's delays happening. My apologies for cutting off.
I was going to say, Derek.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all good. I think I'm pretty delayed here. I was just going to say, I know your situation's a little bit different because you are a business owner of your building. Sorry, you own your building.
Yes.
And I just wanted you to touch base.
Oh, yeah. Rats. No, she'll be back in a moment.
You don't want me to touch on how that might be different in terms of us staying open versus somebody who's leasing their space?
I think that's where she was getting at, yes.
Okay. Do you want me to answer that? Or here she is.
Oh, there we go. Oh, got you back, I think.
You guys there?
Yeah, no,
Looking like
we can hear
live TV here.
you.
No, I was just gonna say, if you can touch base on or tell us what your actual 2 tickets were for. I know you own your actual property and it's a bit different than the rest of us. And also, if you can tell us a little bit how the Fitness Rebellion event went last week with Vlad and a bunch of people in your community.
Yeah, so the 2 tickets that we have, they're just $750 fines each for not following the Reopening Act. And so that was issued. It was issued to me personally. So I'm not sure how that's going to be handled. I mean, it is a little bit different as a business owner and a facility owner because we don't have to answer to a landlord. So another tactic that bylaw and public health might use is that they might go to your landlord and threaten them with fines and whatnot. And to be honest, I don't know how that is going to impact them because I guess that's not the situation that we're facing. So, I mean, it might be good if you're considering just to have a conversation with your landlord and let them know what you plan on doing. And then, yeah, I mean, maybe the first round, if they come through with the first round of tickets and they don't bother your landlord, then keep going or just have an open, honest conversation. But no, yeah, the Fitness Rebellion we had here the other day, I think we probably had between 70 and 80 people. We were super happy to kind of showcase We Are All Essential. And yeah, I mean, we've had a huge following with everything that's gone on in our facility. So I'm hoping it brings a lot of awareness that We Are Essential. We totally support your cause. And that's why we're really excited to have you here. Actually, I messaged Vlad on Instagram when bylaw was on their way here. No, so when they were here and I was on my way here, and he actually phoned me. So not to say he's on speed dial for everybody, but you guys very much care about your community and you're there for one another. So I think his message was received really, really well. The 70 to 80 people we had here, we wanted to keep it as limited as possible just because we had classes starting up in that evening. And we were trying to get more people to focus on watching it online, which was a success that way.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that. I love hearing that your community has been so supportive as well. Oxana, moving forward this week, do you have any set programs, anything you're doing in your community that's a little bit different during this time, or just regular scheduled classes? How's this next couple weeks look for you?
Oh, we had to make some changes just because, we believe that everybody should do yoga. In fact, I believe that the world in need of yoga right now. So every Tuesday right now, we have a community class. Everybody is welcome. Everybody, your age, we don't care about, just show up on your mat. It's free. You have a free class, 5 p.m. In one location, 6 p.m. in a different location. It's free class. And on Thursdays, we also doing 50% off from the drop-in price. So you can pay $15 and come in for any class you like. So, we wanted to make this accessible place because it's very, very ugly out there.
Yeah, any last words for each of you to the public, any other businesses that are listening and they're still on the fence? What do you have to say to them?
Yes, I want to tell businesses that remember that your passion has to be greater than your fears. Remember that. Get on a wave. You're not alone. We're here. Message to you guys. Thank you for being here and supporting us. If we didn't have that support, I'm probably not going to be, brave enough to make a step. And I want to say thank you to all community for supporting us, for always being there for us and just watching our journey and always being here for us. So the gratitude, is overwhelming. The sense of it is very overwhelming. So we're going to get out of it. We will. Faith is the big thing. And love always wins.
Yes.
It does.
Perfect. What do you have to say, Derek?
Yeah, I think as individuals, I mean, communities, everybody, we've been bombarded with so many fear tactics for so long. And I think a lot of people are quite heightened at times, and it's a challenge to become grounded. But I promise you, none of this is as scary as you think. Just take a breath. And we talk about, Oxana talks about vibration and meditation. And I mentioned focusing your intentions on well-being. So if you know that you're going to face challenges in the day, or you might in the coming week, if you're choosing to reopen, or you're choosing to stay open, just think and feel everything that you do is aligned with well-being. When bylaw came in here, I got a little heated at times, but I mean, overall, my video was pretty calm. And I just kept telling myself, okay, focused in well-being. They don't scare me at this point. Like Jamie's saying, right? At some point, it's like, if they're going to shut you down, if they're going to fine you, if you can't, you're going to have to come up with a different solution. It's trying to not reopening is not a viable solution. It's a solution that'll crush your business, your dreams. One other thing that I've decided to do in support of businesses that the government feels are essential and should stay open. The fitness industry, it promotes health, well-being, working out, exercising. It improves cognitive function, blood flow throughout the body, oxygenation, et cetera, et cetera. So what I've decided to do is go to the LCBO and purchase some gift cards. So if bylaw and whatnot does come back, then, I mean, everybody likes receiving a gift. I'll give them an LCBO gift card, because the government tells them that those businesses are essential. You can go purchase tens upon thousands of toxic chemicals at the LCBO, but kids can't come here and exercise. People can't go to a fitness studio or yoga studio and enjoy some flow. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Anyways, align yourself with your truth and stick to it.
Well, those are some really, really powerful messages. Thank you so much, both of you, and my hat's off to you for both being strong, brave, standing your grounds, remaining open. We had some really good messages going on here. There was a comment about landlords. Most landlords will back you up. They want to see you succeed, and they want to get paid. It pretty much comes down to that. From my experience, there's only been a few that have kind of gone against that. So I would like to promote anybody that's out there sitting on the fence, get a hold of us. We are essential.ca. It's a great business community. We're working with each other, giving each other advice, getting you knowledge. As soon as you enroll in, you can learn a bunch of things, because knowledge is king. Once you know these things, it's easier to stand, because knowledge erases fear, right? We're also looking for volunteers. We need as many shoulders to carry the weight as possible. So if you're looking to volunteer, we're calling you guys our support system to businesses, and you guys really help us out. This is amazing. So come join either as a business or as a support team. And any business that is out there, especially fitness industry right now, you're looking to open up, get a hold of us. We'll see what we can do to help you get that support that you need. So remember that the community is here for you. We have an established community with We Are All Essential. And I would love for you guys to subscribe, keep watching, give us a good thumbs up if you really enjoy what we're doing. And we'll see you next time.
Jamie, sorry, can I just add one more thing about landlords?
You sure can.
Yeah, I do own a number of properties, and I am a landlord. So, like, for example, the Dream Center, just our rent alone, if we were renting, would be the equivalent of about $25,000 a month. I know it's different for some businesses depending on their size, but just a conversation to have with your landlord is that if their unit has to go vacant, depending on what the business is, it could take anywhere from like 2 months to a year to refill that space. So any fine that they might be faced with initially, they'll have lots of time to reconsider their strategy moving forward if they do get fined. But the fine that they'll receive will be nothing compared to the income that they'll lose as a business. So if they do believe in what you're standing for, and they do agree that enough is enough, then they will be safe. I mean, this isn't something easy that anybody can get around, right? We're dealing with very different times, so people have to think differently at this point. But yeah, thank you for all that. I appreciate it, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, and anybody who's looking for just to watch Derek's videos and to support them and in Oxana, just look them up. The Dream Center for Derek, he's located in Ontario as well too. Just for anyone who's in that area, you said I think Hamilton it was.
Yeah.
Yes. And then an Oxana with the yoga bar they're in White Rock and Yaletown for their locations. So again, if anyone's looking for a place to have great vibes and a fantastic atmosphere, check them out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks you guys for coming on. Really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Derek.
Have a nice
Thanks,
night.
Oxana.
Thank you.